Hello again, everyone. This is Veteran Mountain Man coming to you today to discuss some more 1776 conservatism. And today we're going to discuss Marxism versus capitalism and why capitalism is the correct form of economic management system under the 1776 thought process. So before we were talking about ultimate freedom in decision-making processes and how you could only justly back a law or an alteration of government or an existence in government that gave the absolute most personal freedom to the individual. Well, today I want to talk to you about why that also translates into the need for capitalism as a 1776er, as opposed to, say, socialism or communism. So right here, I'm in Karl Marx's manifesto on communism, and he gave a list of rules that needed to be done in order to create a communist utopian society. And the first rule right out of the box is the abolition of property in land and applications of all rent of land to public purposes. So what does that mean? That means you have to take away all land ownership, all of it, and give it to the government. So right there, that should explain to you why 1776ers should not in any way, shape, form, or fashion embrace communism or socialism. Because socialism in and of itself is a watered-down version of communism. Now, the second rule is a heavy progressive or graduated income tax. Why is that? Well, you have to have money to fund your government. And governments, by default, produce nothing except more government. So they have to steal money from the citizenry in order to create a government. The third rule is the abolition of all rights of inheritance. See abolition of property rights. If you can't inherit anything, then people don't save, people don't develop new things, people don't create and grow and advance, they just stagnate. And if you can't leave something to your children or your grandchildren, then why would you save it at all? Why would you push to create something that would create vast wealth in order to leave that money? You can't. Next one is confiscation of all property of all immigrants and rebels. And believe me, if Antifa gets what they want, all of us in the 1776 community, all Republicans, shoot, even the Democrats who aren't communists, will have all of our property stolen from us. They will also steal all the property of the legal immigrants and then favor the illegals. Number 5, centralization of credit in the hands of the state. That means a fully functioning national bank with only state capital and an exclusive monopoly on lending. Now, that's quite obvious, so we're going to go to the next. Centralizing the means of communication and transportation in the hand of the states. So a lot of these cities where everybody talks about the great infrastructure and the great mass transit, this is pushing towards communism, people. We need to be taking this back. We need to be stripping this stuff away. Why? Because people need to have the freedom to succeed and fail on their own hook. We need that pure altruistic concept that capitalism provides. That push, that desire, that stretch of human existence. It's the only way to become great again. Number 7 is extension of the factories and instruments of production to be owned by the state. The bringing into cultivation of wastelands and the improvement of the soil generally in accordance with a common plan. See, this is where the Green parties come in. This is where all the eco-terrorists come in. They are pushing rule number 7. See, the left has coordinated this concept, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. Equal liability of all to labor, establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. So this is the dictate that everybody has to do what the government tells them to do. And right there is the abolition of all of your freedoms. The second you are told what job you will have to take and where you will have to work, you have no more choice in your life. None. You will never move. You will never succeed. You will never climb the corporate ladder. You will never do anything but stay in place and covet. And that is why collectivism and communism is so immoral. Number 9, the combination of agriculture with the manufacturing industries. Gradual abolition of distinction between town and country by more equitable distribution of populations over a country. So this is to disperse people out and force them into smaller and smaller communities where they have to rely on each other in order to survive, instead of allowing people to move freely and make their own decisions where they want to fit into niches. Instead, you force them into those niches. Number 10 is free education for all children in the public schools, abolition of children's factory labor in its present form, and a combination of education with industrial production. So, all of these rules were what Marx was trying to get implemented as communism. And as you can see, some of these, to some extent, have been implemented in the United States, primarily by Democrat leadership and Democrat legislation. But sometimes the Republicans have fallen for it as well. What we need to, as a country and as a group of citizens, is we need to step back and say, no more, not on my watch. But these are the ideas that the cultural Marxists and the true socialists and the true communists are pushing even to this day. And the problem is they don't look at countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe and Cuba and all of the other places where communism has just absolutely destroyed society. Even in North Korea, the North Koreans believe that their leader is a god. Okay? A god. And they have to worship him. And everything comes from him. And they have to do exactly what he says, or they disappear. In Venezuela, if the cop walks up to you and says, "Give me your money," you hand him your wallet, or he shoots you and leaves you there in the streets to die. And yeah, you've got free medical care. But if the emergency responders aren't going to come pick you up because the cops shot you, and they'll shoot them too if they come and get you, what real medical care do you have? What freedom do you have except to die at the hands of the state? Well, I hope this has brought some ideas to your mind. I know that Antifa doesn't like me talking about these things, and I will continue to talk about them to the best of my ability as long as I'm still allowed to live, breathe, and be free. I want to thank you all again. Please feel free to come visit me at minds.com/veteran mountain man. I'm more than willing to chat there. I'm more than willing to take responses to my YouTube videos here on YouTube as well. If you want, go ahead and comment below if you prefer instead of going over to Minds. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I get a kick out of seeing my subscription base grow, and I am looking forward to getting to know more and more of my subscribers. Also, I have started archiving my videos over to vid.me, but they're going to be about a month behind on posting because I am trying to get some monetization out of these so that I can start affording some better equipment. And as well, some more reading material so that I can discuss it with you guys, because there are certain things that I would like to read through and then discuss in detail, such as, John Locke and the institutions of government and the beginnings of a republic, and Plato and some Socrates, as well as some of these other things, such as the communist works. I would like to get Capital from Karl Marx and read through it and discuss it with you guys as well, because that was his last writing before he died. Anyhow, once again, I want to thank you all, and have a nice day.